Hello everybody, welcome to the Empressive channel. Now the R&B singer Tank went on record and said that Chris Brown is greater than Michael Jackson.
Chris Brown is, in fact, better than Michael Jackson.
What? Do you understand what you're saying? Tank, do you understand what you're saying, my man? I mean, you're admired, you're revered, you're associated with music, my brother. Everybody loves and respects you.
If there was Magic Johnson, now there is LeBron James. That is the ultimate evolution of a man who can play all five positions. As we talk about Chris Brown, we're talking about the evolution of Michael Jackson, the evolution of Usher, the evolution of me, the evolution of Genuine. That is what this kid is.
Tank doubled down on his statements by saying Chris Brown had better vocal ability than Michael Jackson. He said he has better writing ability. He says he has better producing ability, dancing ability. And he also said, I know you're going to say Michael's catalog is crazy, songs are classic, etc., but that was because of a lot of great people involved who are some of the greatest at what they do. CB orchestrates his own movement from studio to visuals to show, no handouts, no sponsors, and all while the world was against him. I'm ready to argue. Now, I understand Tank is good friends with Chris Brown, but he's riding him a little too hard, okay? Way too hard. Now, this is not to take away from what Chris Brown has done, even though there are some things about Chris that I don't necessarily agree with. I can at least acknowledge his talent. He's definitely one of the greats of his generation, for sure, but he's not a Michael Jackson. And it's interesting to me that every time an artist is compared to somebody, it's always compared to Michael. And that lets you know that Michael is the standard. To say that Chris Brown sings better than Michael Jackson, Chris Brown has not even seen 11-year-old Michael. Let's be very clear. And I'm not trying to knock Chris because I do think he could sing for sure. And he has improved vocally over the years. But I don't agree with Tank that he's a better vocalist. Now, Tank said he's a better producer. Michael Jackson was also a producer and a writer. A lot of people don't give him credit for this, but he wrote and produced some of the biggest songs in pop music, including his song Billie Jean. He wrote and co-produced that. His song Beat It, he wrote and co-produced that. His song Smooth Criminal, he wrote and co-produced that. His song Remember the Time, he wrote and co-produced that with Teddy Riley. I mean, come on. He had collaborators, but he also was very, very, very much involved in the creative process of his music. And also he wrote and produced a lot of music with his brothers, the Jacksons. And when it comes to dancing ability, I mean, Chris Brown is a great dancer. Don't get it twisted. He is definitely one of the best. And I think it would be fair to say he's on Michael's level, if not better. But he and Michael do have different styles of dance. Chris Brown does more acrobats and more break dancing, whereas Michael was more technical and his footwork was just really, really, really precise. But they both are great. And some would argue Chris is better. And I'm not mad at that argument. However, Michael revolutionized dance. And without a Michael Jackson, you probably would not have a Chris Brown. I mean, a lot of Chris's movements are inspired by MJ. Michael not only revolutionized dance, he revolutionized music videos. He was the one who made many movies for his music. He was the first one to do that. He was the first one to use his music to collaborate with other companies like Pepsi. He opened up the door for artists to get endorsements like that. He sold the most records in pop music history. He toured stadiums. Like, he's broken so many different barriers. And also his music is timeless and versatile. He not only made fun music, but he made some uplifting music and music about social issues. So to say Chris Brown is better than Michael is a big reach. However, I'm going to give Chris Brown his 10s. I respect that he's been able to have longevity and he's been consistent. He's a great entertainer. And I do think he would have been a lot bigger if that incident with Rihanna didn't happen, you know? And if I'm being completely honest, if I were to make my own Mount Rushmore of the great entertainers we've had in the past 20 years, I would actually put Chris Brown up there. I would put him up there with Usher and with Beyonce and Bruno Mars. Yes, I would. And this is not to say he's better than them, because to say he's better would be a reach too, but I'm not against putting him in that conversation, you know? But at the end of the day, Michael opened up doors for him, and the only reason why he's riding comfortably is because Michael pushed the wheel. He put the groundwork in, he broke the glass ceilings, and he laid down the blueprint for all these artists to follow. And to this day, they're still following that blueprint. So I say all this to say, don't compare nobody to Michael Jackson. Just don't. Let artists be great in their own right, but don't compare the student to the teacher. Now, moving on, it seems like Keke Palmer and her baby daddy Darius are getting along just fine after they went through their chaotic incident that happened last year. Now, if you remember, Keke did accuse Darius of putting his hands on her, and she filed a temporary restraining order against him. And also, she released still images of him seemingly manhandling her. Now, we didn't see the actual video, but these images were enough to convince the public that this guy was dangerous. And a lot of us were very, very, very concerned when we saw this. However, as the story progressed, we found out more about the nature of Keke and Darius's relationship. Darius released a recorded phone call of Keke Palmer's mother cussing him out. And from the sound of it, it seemed like Darius was just coming to Keke's house to pick up his son. However, Keke's mama revealed that Darius was harassing Keke and talking down on her, and he was being very critical of the fact that she was wearing a revealing dress at that Usher concert. So there was a lot that came out in that recording, and it kind of seemed like there was toxicity on both sides, because on one end you see Keke's mother just trashing and inflaming Darius, and Darius is making claims that Keke was very aggressive and volatile to him. But on the other hand, you hear claims about Darius being volatile to Keke. You hear about him being aggressive and controlling, and he's talking down to her. So there's a lot going on in the relationship, and it really just exposed the nature of their relationship.
Y'all had no idea who you stepped up and played with. It's all good.
I tried to be nice to you.
Yeah.
I tried to be nice because I thought you had some mental problems.
Nope.
So I tried to be nice. But you gonna talk about my daughter? You gonna harass my daughter? You gonna talk about Usher? Usher is gay. You and your stupid family don't even understand the business. Usher is gay, guys.
Tell her to put some clothes on.
Gay.
Tell her to put some clothes on.
You be into Usher.
Tell her to put some clothes on.
You are stupid.
Tell her to put some clothes on.
You are a stupid man.
She's a mom. She has to put some clothes on. She's a mom. She has to put some clothes on.
His family are crazy, chaotic,
Yeah.
harassing people.
So where my son
They
go?
are harassing my family. They are harassing my daughter.
I'm sure.
You got to go. Can he still hear me?
Oh, yeah, he is.
I'm just waiting for my son. Where's my son at? It's football Sunday. He used to be with his family.
You ain't got a family. Your bitch family, your dick sucking brother, sister that you chose, your immigrant mama. Please.
They have nothing to do with this. They have nothing to do with this.
Jerry Springer family.
They have nothing to do with this.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
Your mama do. She the one got you thinking you can go around and harass women because your daddy harassed her.
Okay.
And your grandmama told me his mama's crazy. We've never been able to do anything with her. I don't know why my son stayed with her, but yeah, she's crazy. And if Darius is listening to her, he should be ashamed of himself. That's what your damn grandmama told me.
That's what his dad said.
Your grandmama told me your mama was crazy, and that if you wanted to listen to your mama,
She's
then
schizophrenic,
you
and so is he.
You go.
You both need medicine.
Yeah, the grandmama said that if you wanted to keep listening to your mama, then Keke needed to let you go. Because Keke is a brilliant person, and Darius should be lucky to have her. So if you think she's you think she's a whore, then why don't you take your limp dick and find the woman that you want to find? Why you over my daughter's house? Why you always around
My
her
son.
and call her cunt bitches? Go
My
find
son.
you a Mexican.
For my
Why harass
son.
me, though?
My son.
Why harass me? You don't
My
have to harass
son.
me.
But for my son.
But you don't have to
My
harass
son. Where's
me.
my
You
son?
harass
Where's my
me.
son?
You need to stop harassing
Where's
me.
my son? That's all I'm just asking for. I'm not here for her.
Something's wrong with your mind. It's not normal. You sound like you have a broken brain and you need to go to see somebody because you're chemically imbalanced. There's nothing that I've done for you to stay on that page. People have endured more. I've endured more from you, and I don't do that to you. I don't sit up there and call you all kinds of names and do stuff like that. You randomly have an episode and then you harass me for an hour straight.
So that was just some of what happened on that whole recording, but it was a lot. It was a lot. And not only that, Darius did expose text messages between him and Keke. And in this text message, Keke actually admitted to hitting him. She said, "I'm sorry for hitting you. I'm sorry for being afraid to lose you, and that turning into me acting out of fear and desperation. That was not the best me that you received, and I'm sorry for that. I'm mad at the situation. I'm mad at myself. I'm deeply affected and afraid because it's such a deep heaviness that I don't want to feel anymore. It's not your fault nor your job to alleviate it from me. I honestly need to pray on it. I just hate how exposed I can feel. I'm just sad and sorry to be texting so much." And in this text, Keke was pouring out her emotions to him, so she did take accountability, but it also kind of showed you that Keke wanted to really be with him, even though the relationship was not the healthiest. And also it showed you that Darius wasn't the only aggressor. You know, Keke admitted to being an aggressor too. So their relationship was pretty messy, pretty up and down. But now it seems like they're all fine. And some people might say, oh, they're just co-parenting. But to me, this doesn't look like co-parenting. This looks like they're back together. And Darius posted this on his story and said the boy and his folks. So he's calling Keke his folks. So to me, it sounds like he's claiming her again. I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were back together. And some people are even speculating that Keke might be carrying their second child because in this photo, she has a pudge. I don't feel comfortable assuming if women are pregnant or not because I have made that mistake before. But if she is pregnant, that would actually explain why they're back on good terms again, you know, because sometimes a baby can temporarily reunite people. However, a baby is not going to hold a couple together for the long run. You have to have a stable relationship. And unfortunately, from what we've seen, Darius and Keke seem to have an up and down relationship. So I do hope they're getting all the therapy they need so they can move forward in a healthy way. But I don't want them to go through another domestic situation. I really hope that it doesn't take that turn again. But is that too much to hope for? I don't really know, y'all. But anyway, tell me what y'all think about this video down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you care. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.